So with regards to this like pinky fulcrum idea, I do think there's a lot of validity to this grip. I think I can do a lot of what I want on the kit without gripping with those, my thumb and first two fingers because of wrist motion. But I wouldn't just do that exclusively. I wanted to just make a point about this because a while back in a live call there was a discussion about playing one of these etudes on the pad with lots of really quick notes, and there was a question about after playing an accent getting some really quick unaccented soft notes in, so something like paradiddles or paradiddle diddles. Or if they're singles. I've observed, just my experience, that drum set players tend to struggle with this because they're almost exclusively thinking, oh, there's a fulcrum here, or even there's a fulcrum here, and they let these fingers off the stick, and so when they play an accent, the stick bounces up on them, and then they don't, for like a nanosecond, they don't have full control over the stick, so they can't play that next soft note. Whereas rudimental players, that's my first background, is rudimental. We're taught to keep the fingers on the stick and use wrist a lot because we're not doing a lot of those there's not a lot of finesse, and there's so much rebound on a rudimental snare drum, and you're just hitting so hard that you get all you need for just super loud accents and then these tiny things. So rudimental players tend to have no problem playing accents immediately followed by this. So when I'm playing just this kind of thing, when I want to get a good downstroke and I'm doing this, there's no fulcrum here. Like the stick is not pivoting here for me when I'm doing that. It's all wrist. My fulcrum is my wrist here. Later the fulcrum can be something else, but being able to have that grip initially where I'm using my hand, like I'm not tense. There's this weird thing that drum set players tend to have against a grip like this because it seems like it's tension. Like this, I'm not tense here at all. You should be able to see like the shock being absorbed by my arm and my hand. I'm very relaxed, and it takes no effort to get this downstroke to happen, and then I can move on to having this finger motion if I want for this type of thing. So in terms of molar, in my opinion, the best thing out there, like the most modern, complete thing on molar, is Jojo Mayer's video. I think it's called Secret Weapons for the Modern Drummer. When you're doing this kind of thing, this whip stroke thing, if I'm in this position, I'm not going to hold on with my pinky or my ring finger. Like that is a stretch. That is unnatural. So I'm going to hold on with my middle finger and thumb. But when I come all the way down, if I want to have a good downstroke, before I get down to the bottom and hit, I am gripping a little bit right here so that the stick stays in my palm so that all that shock gets absorbed, and then I can immediately just shift off. So I think what Ken said about there's different grips for different things is spot on. I agree with that 100%. And I would shift between them really quickly with a lot of finesse. I wouldn't ever do everything all one way or just all in on one thing. So I do think, I just wanted to make the point, I think there's a lot of validity to this. But I don't really understand what a pinky fulcrum is. I don't think I would ever have the stick like pivot at my pinky. Like if I'm understanding the word fulcrum, like when I'm doing this, the fulcrum or the pivot point in this sort of simple machine I have here is my wrist, 100%. And if you do that, I think there's a lot of validity because you can do this very easily. You can get a nice, good sort of whip motion, lots of power, and then you can do other things after so that you can get this. But when you get quicker, I'm going to start pivoting either here or here. I'm not going to stay with this glued the whole time. So anyways, those are my thoughts. I thought that was worth just making a video about because I don't know how to sell that in a quick paragraph, especially without being able to demonstrate it. Anyways, hope that's helpful to someone.